Individual factors affecting estradiol levels. The rates of conversion of testosterone to DHT and estradiol vary among men due to polymorphisms of genes that encode the steroid 5-alpha reductase and the aromatase enzyme, as well as other host-specific factors that affect the activity of these enzymes. Dr. Stevens Shields, Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism, 2022. In this study by Erickson, genetic variations in sex steroid-related genes as predictors of serum estrogen levels in men, the investigators wanted to determine whether common genetic variants in sex steroid-related genes predict serum estradiol and testosterone levels in men. The study showed that men with a common aromatase polymorphism, RS2470152, had approximately 11% higher estradiol levels than those without the polymorphism. Let's look at the factors affecting Vmax. Vmax value is influenced by three main factors, namely enzyme concentration, temperature, and pH. Enzyme concentration. Vmax depends on the amount of enzyme present, and the higher the amount of enzyme, the higher the Vmax of it. If we increase fat mass, we increase aromatase, and we increase Vmax. If we decrease fat mass, we decrease aromatase, and we'll decrease Vmax. Let's review the Finkelstein study, gonadal steroids and body composition, strength, and sexual function in men. In this study, they sought to determine the relative degree of testosterone deficiency, estradiol deficiency, or both at which undesirable changes in body composition, strength, and sexual function begin to occur, and whether those changes are due to androgen deficiency, estrogen deficiency, or both. It involved 400 healthy men, 20 to 50 years of age, with endogenous testosterone and estradiol suppressed. 198 men received either placebo or 1.25, 2.5, 5, or 10 grams of testosterone gel daily for 16 weeks. 202 men received placebo gel or testosterone gel and 1 milligram of anastrozole daily. Changes in the percentage of body fat and in lean mass were the primary outcomes. Subcutaneous and intra-abdominal fat areas, thigh muscle area and strength, and sexual function were also assessed. I've heard critics argue that 1 milligram of anastrozole daily is clinically excessive, but this critique overlooks the study's design. The objective was not to evaluate the therapeutic safety of aromatase inhibitors, but to isolate the physiological roles of androgens and estrogens. By using a high-dose aromatase inhibitor to fully suppress the conversion of testosterone to estradiol, researchers could clearly observe the distinct effects of each hormone, a clarity that a lower partial dose would have not provided. In fact, they explain this very clearly in the study. Because estradiol is a metabolite of testosterone, it is difficult to distinguish the effects of androgens from those of estrogens in observational studies, or even in randomized control trials if aromatizable androgens are used without the administration of an aromatase inhibitor. Aromatase inhibitor trials don't test testosterone. They test androgen signaling in isolation. Let's look at the mean absolute change from baseline in sexual desire and erectile function according to testosterone dose and cohort. They reported that aromatase inhibition was associated with significant decreases in sexual desire and erectile function. Both androgens and estrogens contributed to the maintenance of normal libido and erectile function. Looking at the mean percent change from baseline in percentage of body fat, lean body mass, subcutaneous and intra-abdominal fat area, thigh muscle area, and leg press strength according to testosterone dose and cohort. In the groups that received testosterone inhibition of estrogen synthesis, cohort 2 in red, as compared with intact estrogen synthesis, cohort 1 in blue, was associated with significant increases in the percentage of body fat, subcutaneous fat area, and intra-abdominal fat area, and with significant decreases in sexual desire and erectile function. These findings provide additional evidence of an independent effect of estradiol on these measures. Because increases in visceral fat reduce insulin sensitivity and are associated with diabetes and the metabolic syndrome, the marked increase in intra-abdominal fat with aromatase inhibition could portend to an increase in cardiovascular disease with long-term estrogen deficiency. This is another mechanism to increase Vmax. Aromatase inhibitors increase visceral body fat, which increases the amount of the aromatase enzyme. Conclusions of the Finkelstein study. The amount of testosterone required to maintain lean mass, fat mass, strength, and sexual function varied widely in men. Androgen deficiency accounted for decreases in lean mass, muscle size, and strength. Estrogen deficiency primarily accounted for increases in body fat. Both contributed to the decline in sexual function. This is a video that came across my YouTube feed, Estrogen Management Trends in Men, and it was done by a young lady by the name of DJ Madsen. Now, in this video, they discussed testosterone to estradiol ratios as though they are clinically important, emphasized measuring serum estradiol and keeping it within a specific range, and raised concerns that estradiol may continue to rise uncontrollably. Yet none of those claims are supported by randomized data, physiology, enzyme kinetics, or receptor biology. Both aromatase activity and estrogen receptor signaling are saturable, meaning that estradiol production is not unlimited. And once estrogen receptors are saturated, additional estradiol cannot produce progressively greater effects. She also made a statement about her husband, who is also a bodybuilder. Take someone like my husband, for example, who is very lean at all times, and he aromatizes at the drop of a hat. Now, we just reviewed the Finkelstein studies, which showed a marked increase in intra-abdominal fat with aromatase inhibition. And now you know the reason why her husband aromatizes at the drop of a hat. It's because the more he takes the aromatase inhibitor, the more visceral fat he develops, and the more he aromatizes when he doesn't take it. He is creating the very problem he is trying to avoid. The practice of using aromatase inhibitors to control estradiol in men on testosterone therapy did not originate in evidence-based medicine. It originated in the bodybuilding community. The aromatase inhibition is one of the major factors in the development of premature cardiovascular disease. Many of the problems men encounter on testosterone therapy arise from advice and practices borrowed from the bodybuilding community. Although both involve testosterone, they are fundamentally different. Testosterone therapy is evidence-based medical care aimed at restoring health and normal physiology, while the bodybuilding culture accepts drug abuse and health trade-offs in pursuit of performance and muscle mass. Advice from a performance enhancement drug culture has no place guiding legitimate testosterone therapy.